So I'm Leonard Pooter, and I own a local landscaping business here in the beautiful northwest corner of Connecticut called LHP Services. And this is a project that we've been working on and off for the last 3 or 4 years. And when we got here, I don't know if you can see this, the house had been renovated, but the property was a wreck. And these stones were fabricated. All of the stone on this site comes from a local quarry that's been in business probably for 300 years. And what we did, I don't know if you can come over here and take a look, is these are single slabs of stone that I actually purchased specifically for each location, and then we cut and fabricated them for each area, and they were lifted into place. Which was really an amazing project. And I don't think the original stone for this house came from the quarry we used, but a lot of the homes in the area used the stone from this particular quarry. So it was kind of cool to use that same stone. We also did this patio. This is dry set, large pieces, obviously irregular. It has stone and like a gravel joint. Needs a little weeding, but it's very self-supporting and doesn't really move that much. We also did the seating wall, which is cemented, a walkway which goes around the house, and then, Bella, if you can get this, one of the things was this drip edge. So around the whole perimeter of the foundation, we installed these stones to catch any water that comes off the gutter to help prevent splashing. And looks very natural. It's weathered really well. We actually rebuilt a lot of the exterior part of the foundation. You can see kind of like the loosely arranged stones. Believe it or not, it was intentionally done to look that way. We didn't want to make it look perfect. We wanted to make it look kind of rustic. And so that's held up really well. And then we can go over to the barn maybe and take a look at what we did over there. So now we're at the barn. And after we finished the main house, we came over to the barn, which was just rebuilt. There was nothing here except the structure. All of the surrounding soil was a construction wasteland. It was ruddy and mud and no grass, and there was pools of water from the soil compaction. And the goal was to create a ramp that would hold a truck or a vehicle or maybe a tractor at some point. This door slides open. I think it was, 12 or 14 feet wide. And we wanted it to look old. We wanted to, really, like I said, use that stone from the local quarry, have big pieces, no cement, very natural looking. So we did the drip edge along the perimeter here, just like the house, except these stones are bigger. That was one thing. But then we built these ramps. So these were big blocks of stone that we brought here. We measured how big they needed to be. We cut and fabricated them, and then we put them in place. This stone I remember specifically well because it was actually the day before the 4th of July, and we wanted to finish. And I was driving the machine, which my men hate when I drive the machine because I tend to be a little, a little more distracted than they are. And I was trying to fit the rock in under these brackets without destroying them because, we just couldn't, we had to be very carefully placed inside of where it was supposed to go. And I think, it must have been 7 or 8 or 10 times I put it in and it wasn't quite right. And the guys would say, take it out. We took it out. We did it over and over and over again. And finally we got it. So these two stones, I think came out great. This one almost tipped the machine. The machine has about a 5,000 pound lift on it. So it was probably like a 4,000 pound stone. Doesn't look like it. All you see is the top, but it's about that thick. And this one was a big one too, but everything worked out great. And then coming over here, then the barn underwent another renovation after it was built. And they added these steps. And we needed a set of stone steps leading to the steps. So again, we went to the quarry. I went to the quarry, I picked out the stone, and we fabricated these stone steps to make steps out of it. And that was it. And that we did fall of 24. And that's it. We have just completed the last phase of the projects at this property. They just finished this carport, and after the carport there was landscaping, cleanup, driveway had to be redone, the lawn was destroyed again, or part of the lawn, and then there was the new masonry to do as well. So what we just did is picking up on the theme of using that existing granite from the local quarry. We did a long walkway connecting the main patio to this new carport. Again, this is all very natural, very loosely done, no cement joints, it's not square cut, they're irregular, but a fairly smooth surface. And then coming in here, the walkway widens. We built a step. These are all hand-cut, hand-fabricated stones, and then a couple steps down into the carport. So the idea is the homeowner parks, walks up the steps, under the covered overhang, and over to the house. It was a great project, very straightforward for us, nothing really out of the ordinary. Great people to work for, the homeowner, HVP, everybody was really great to work with. Karen, the landscape architect, she was amazing, and it worked out pretty good. We also did a living roof, a green roof, which I think is in some of the previous videos, but as far as the drainage for the roof, they built an oversized gutter that dumps out onto the ground. And to deal with the splashing, we placed this boulder, and then this is, I forget what Karen called it. I call it ledges. It's the same stone as the patios and the walkways, but it's on end, so they're like vertical. And then between them is little pieces of the stone that are left over from when we do the fabrication. But below it, there's a drain. So when the water comes off the roof, the idea is it lands in this river, in this drainage area. It perks down into the ground, into pipes, which runs underground and away from the house down, down out of the way. And also landscaping. Wasn't a lot of landscaping. The idea was that this is a very native, naturalized garden, all indigenous plants, very low maintenance, things that will eventually attract pollinators and butterflies and things like that. So this we just finished last week, or actually this week, and in 3 or 4 years it'll be pretty full, and I think it'll look great.